I just target my best customers and I constantly engage with them. I write to them, I send them videos, I encourage them, would they like to talk to a product manager about their ideas. I like to establish that relationship because you build that relationship, you get your stickiness, people are satisfied, they feel heard. So I'm a big believer in spending some time on that.
Howdy everybody, welcome back to Marketplace Growth by Acoil. My name is Pete Preston. In this video, Kate and I are going through 10 ways that we're thinking about doubling growth for marketplace businesses in the new year. These aren't the only ways that you can grow your business. These are foundational parts of building a solid marketplace partner business on the Atlassian Marketplace. Let's get right into it. One of the things back in the pro forma days that we realized on the marketplace, and this is what led us to actually put multiple pro formas. We had the free version, we had the paid version. And one of the things that drove us to do that is that we realized that we weren't getting found in search on the marketplace. And we talk about solution partners selling your product all the time, but the marketplace is really important. Getting found there is really important. So what was the rationale for publishing multiple products on the marketplace?
One word, keyword search. And you're the king at sorting that one out.
Oh, that's
so.
Do your keyword research. And I've been surprised this year by how many marketplace partners haven't taken advantage of that API that you can actually look at your own apps and see what you're showing up for. And that zero results keyword API call that you could do. There's some gems in there.
Number two. What's number two?
Right. So when customers are looking at the marketplace, regardless of where they're coming from, they're looking for certain signals, right? And they're always they're checking to see your title. Does that make sense? But one of the other important parts is how many stars you're showing. You wrote down here what the impact of a 4-star review is. Why is that such an important signal?
It's just a signal for trust, and it gives your prospective buyer confidence that they think you're on the right track. So my philosophy is getting stars and good reviews is king. Absolutely critical for your pre-sale process and to speed up your evaluation cycle. So we really love our reviews, and we spend a lot of time at Proforma. We spend a lot of time at ThinkTalk and Proforma doing reviews and getting good reviews.
Yeah, we've talked about that a fair bit this year in 2023 about how do you go about getting those reviews, and leveraging your support really helps that. And one of the things that we highlighted recently, I think, was if you give great support, that'll often get you a good 4-star review. 3. A question that we get is how do we make sales happen faster? This seems like a non-intuitive way of going about doing that, but one of the best tools that you have at your disposal is that support channel. Talk us through that.
Teach anyone who's on support to watch if it's an evaluation query. And if it is, then go deep in how you respond and be very helpful, offer ideas, offer questions. And what you'll often find, we found it all the time, is people go, oh, that's great. You've actually helped me decide what I need to do much faster. And we found that we got more sales. Once we started focusing on really improving our support as a sales mechanism, we did notice the kick.
Yeah.
So I would strongly recommend to everyone handling support, it's not just tick and flick. As much as we love to tick and flick, it's not.
Yeah.
It's making sure that you establish an understanding of what they're trying to do and make them feel like your product can do what they need.
Yeah. Less transactional, more of that consultative selling, asking questions. And that's a big thing that we are going to lean into in the coming year, and that we're going to continue to push on with the clients that we're working with, and maybe our own products. Wink, wink. 4. Next thing up we got here is going back into the marketplace. What are the signals that you're sending to people? One of the simplest ways that you can actually tell someone that, yes, this is the right product, this is what you're looking for, is a simple, no frills, feature-based, search-based name for your product.
And it's so simple, it's embarrassing, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think we all have to fight the urge to get creative with our names. And, that's like the most fun part to me. And we don't get to do it because it just doesn't work as well when you give something a ridiculously fun name that nobody's searching for right now anyway. And if you want a shortcut to getting found on the marketplace, that to me is the best way to do it. And that, again, goes back to that keyword research. What are those search terms that people are looking at? How can you get yourself onto the top of that page for exactly what you do? Next up, we're going to go a bit into, it's almost like storytelling. And we talk to a lot of marketplace partners about this, but it's not just telling people what your product does. The question comes, how does this fit into my life? And so something that we've been talking a lot about, and I think we're going to really lean into in 2024 here, is use cases. What kind of use cases should you be building and where should you publish them?
Well, if you've talked to your customers, you've got a good idea of what your ideal customers are using your product for, and they ideally should form your use cases, or some people call them workflows, but they're lovely detailed explanations of how you can solve a problem in a particular area. So for us, it was, for example, HR recruitment or HR onboarding, offboarding, and we did some good use cases. Used lots of detail, end to end. We did a video last week. Suggest people have a look at that.
So talking about speeding up sales cycles, this is a great way to do it. If you can demonstrate really quickly how your product fits into a workflow, the day-to-day life. Another question that we've gotten is, how do I develop use cases if my customers aren't talking to me? One of the best ways that we found to do it is look internally, or also walk in the shoes of your customer. Put yourself in their position as best you can. There's two things I'd like you to touch on quickly here is, one, walking in the shoes of the customer. And then also what you've done is reached out to experts. So if we talk about HR, you've reached out to friends in HR to almost validate, am I thinking the right things here?
Absolutely. Just find someone who knows, your subject matter expert, and just find people. It doesn't have to be formal interviews. People get very hung up on thinking they have to do formal market research. Just talk to people, chat to people, develop an idea and say, I think my hypothesis is this. Let's see if it's true. And then what you do, query comes in support who looks like your potential ideal customer and say, look, we've been doing some work on this. Is this what you're going to mainly use our product for? Would you like some extra information on this? And if they go, oh, yes, that's great, you're on the money. So basically just look for any opportunity you can to find out about the ways your product can work and how people are using. Just ask everybody. Ask in support. Use your subject matter experts. My mate's got tired of me asking the nitty-gritty of how to do a onboarding process for a small enterprise, for a small company, a medium company, a large company. They got tired of me asking questions, but it works.
I want to interject something in here, and that is, you may notice a theme with all of this stuff that we're talking about. Everything that we're talking about relates back to one another, right? So there's all this just flow of information and use cases and customer centricity that go through this entire thing. Another question that we get a lot is, how do we increase sales from solution partners? We're firm believers that you should have 60+% of your new revenue coming from solution partners, especially if you sell to enterprise customers. How do marketplace partners go about getting those solution partner sales?
Well, I think you've just got to be, one, you've got to be dedicated. Two, you've got to get yourself a framework of how you're going to operate. So it's things like getting a sense of where you are now, then working out who is your best fit solution partner. And that's essentially the process you do for your customer. You actually work out, their a solution partner's profile and their business needs. Then you build your assets and your documentation, and then finally you measure it. And I love a good CRM, and I loved doing my own little
scoring profile,
scale rating. Yeah. Thank you. And we also did a video on that one, and I really recommend people watch that.
Understanding your ideal customer is great. Understanding the ideal solution partners is equally as important, especially if you do want to get that sales volume from them going up and up and up. Hey! Next thing we have, and we've got 3 things left that we're going to do in 2024 to double revenue. I know it's a big claim, but this is what we're working towards here. Big growth for everybody. And this focuses on events. What's the best approach to events? Is it to book a booth and show up and hope for the best? Or what's the better way? What's the better path here, Kate?
That's a gimme, isn't it? For me, isn't it? Okay, it's called pre-planning. When you get back from your break, everybody, just put a time in your diary for every couple of weeks to be thinking about your team event and what you're going to do and how you're going to do it and how you're going to get the maximum profile. Targeting your existing customers to come and talk to you, get new ideas, as well as your solution partners. And potentially then trying to see if you can make times and connections with solution partners. get the booth plan and find out where everyone is and plan out your strategy and the way you're going to talk and measure and keep track of your contacts. So plan, and boy, does it pay off when you do it right. Doesn't have to be perfect, but give it a crack.
Yeah, it certainly pays off. And even if you're not sponsoring, it's not in everybody's budget. But if you're not sponsoring and you are going, you can still make an absolutely huge splash with this. I've got some friends around the marketplace that have done really well, not sponsoring a booth, but doing this pre-work, setting up a dinner, setting up drinks, whatever it is. But that groundwork is all laid 6 months in advance. We've talked about use cases. We've talked about communicating with customers on support. How do you take it a step further? How do you invest in those relationships? How do you get a better understanding of what your customers need and your solution partners need?
I just target my best customers and I constantly engage with them. I write to them. I send them videos. I encourage them. Would they like to talk to a product manager about their ideas? No guarantees. I like to establish that relationship, because you build that relationship, you get your stickiness, people are satisfied, they feel heard. So I'm a big believer in spending some time on that. I put times in the diary. I used to rope Simon in, the product manager, and we would reach out to all our best customers and we would diarise it in our CRM and repeat, rinse and repeat.
The really important thing is once you get them on the phone and you're on a call, you just listen and, ask questions and listen to what they say. So you're talking about communicating with your best customers, sometimes email, sometimes you mentioned video as well. Tell me about what kind of video format worked well for you and what should everyone be trying in the next year?
Well, I used videos a lot for lots of things. When you were spending on support and you were spending ages trying to explain something, I would often hack and, see what they were trying to do, and then I'd reproduce it myself and then show a quick video and send it back to them. I would, when people didn't have time to talk to me, I would quite a quick note and say, hey, this is what we're up to, send them back. We used to do our, holiday videos, Pete. So, there's lots of ways you can use your videos. So I don't love being on camera, as you know, Peter, but it does work at times. It cuts through. So I would suggest trying it. And I'd also think about using your videos to actually position your product more effectively as well. Good video on your listing goes a long way.
And now that Atlassian owns Loom, it's hard to argue against more and more video, isn't it? That's a wrap on how we're thinking about growing revenues for marketplace partners in the year 2024. Now, you may have noticed that we didn't talk about driving awareness and all that sort of stuff. That is still a huge part of the business. What we really want to stress here in this video is just how important these foundational elements are to your business. We covered things like identifying your best fit solution partners, using support as sales, sending videos, and being highly communicative with your customers. Oh, and before I go, 2 more things.
Happy holidays, everyone. Everyone have a fabulous break.
Yeah, what Kate said. Happy holidays, everybody. Before you go, hit subscribe, like this video. It helps us with the algorithm and it exposes these videos to more marketplace partners. Can't wait to see you next week. See ya.